very good evening, race fans. Urban Pirate here with Black Flag E-Racing TV. And I've got to tell you, you thought last night was a good one. Tonight is even better. We are here for round 4 of the Black Flag Bullshit Tournament. Back in the GR3 cars, and we are in Germany for the Nurburgring GP track. As for the lobby, well, has to be said, what a absolute star-studded lobby we've got for you this evening. So what have we got? Who have we got out there? Let's have a little looky-see. So we have the current championship leader, of course, Stormfly. There he is. He is in the I forgot what car he's driving. He's in that one. That's the car he's driving. But we've got lots and lots of new faces actually. So Rollies, we've got a big Lithuanian contingent has joined us, and there is the first one, Rollies. He joins us from Lithuania, and I've got to say, I absolutely love the livery on that car. It is a thing of beauty. I'm going to see if I can get that for my own McLaren. That is absolutely beautiful. We'll see that he actually is in the McLaren, and we'll bring up all the let's bring up all the car names so we know what everyone's driving. So yes, Rollies, there he is in the McLaren. Stormfly VR46, current champion leader in the Subaru BRZ. Proved to be a popular car with people actually. A couple of people have changed cars. Remember, you can change, but only once. But loving that. Paz Kozas is also from Lithuania. He is also in the McLaren at 650S. Lovely GT3 car. Almost as good as the Mercedes we drove last night in the team versus team. Then we have Fizz Ruckus in the Corvette C7, which is a popular car in this particular series. Wendigo, also from Australia, Lithuania. They're the one. That's the one, Lithuania. How you doing, buddy? He's in the WRX Group 3. WRX, actually, really good car. Who else we got? We've got Las Vidas S in that superb, absolutely superb Skyline Super Silhouette. Did a couple of laps in that car earlier. I couldn't really get it dialed in, but I'll tell you what a car. Really, really fun to drive. And we cannot go without mentioning the return of Kevin, our resident alien. It's his first race back with Black Flag. Bear in mind, he was one of the first members in the group, but just didn't have GT7. But there he is, Kevin 77. Welcome back, buddy. We have a bloody missed you, mate. He's in the Corvette C7. Looking forward to seeing what he can churn out in terms of lap times. Bear in mind that this is his first ever GT7 online lobby. Obviously, we know he's quick. But I'm sure it won't take him long to get it dialed back in. The ever-present Mr. Cool Runnings from Jamaica. I know it says he's Dutch there, but he's not. He's Jamaican. In that beautiful, beautiful Megan Fox car that I made for him. It's absolutely gorgeous. I can't think of anything more beautiful than that. I mean, Rodders is pretty close, but that is a thing of beauty. I love that car. Old Man Jay in WRX. Certainly he's getting quicker, much quicker. You'll notice that his lap times are improving, especially since he's gone manual. Really working out for him. Avalon Shadow, our glorious host, in his beloved Porsche 911. Paz Kosas, we already covered him. He's in the McLaren. Arminis from Lithuania. He's raced a few times with us. He's brought some friends along. He is rocking, I think it's a WRX, isn't it? Or is it a BRZ? I think it's a BRZ. And obviously it's showing me in a room, but I'm not in the room. Well, I am, but I'm not racing. I'm gonna call it as I see it. So we're a couple of minutes away from qualifying. I think it's going to be a pretty close grid. There's some really, really quick guys out there today. So I'm looking forward to some absolutely full-on, balls-out racing. I can't think of anything more exciting, can you? Certainly not. Let's put their names back on. There we go. So at the moment, fastest man out there is Simonas. How you doing, GT Sim Racer? Yes. How you doing, buddy? Let us know where you're from, where you're watching from, and who you think is going to win this. So yeah, Simona's fastest man on track, 154.9. Rollies, quickest time I can see there's a 155.7, 157.0. Danny SD in the, I think it's no, it's Lexus. He's in the Lexus. He is also one of the Lithuanian guys. I'm not sure of his representative time. Fizz Ruckus. Haven't got time up for him either. He's been sitting at the side of the track waiting. Wendigo. Quickest time up there, 156.6. Not too far behind Fizz Ruckus at the moment. Las Vidas. Listen guys, if I've pronounced your name wrong, feel free to jump on the Discord and tell me how to pronounce it. I will pronounce it as I see it, but sometimes I need a little bit of help. Quick word from sponsors. Obviously, we are sponsored by Joghem's machinery in Holland. So if you want to buy a tractor, get on a plane, go to Holland and visit Joghem's and buy yourself a lovely little tractor. And also Club Leaf, who are our sustainability partner. Help us keep it real and keep it carbon neutral, and we'll do the same for you. Kevin 77, fifth fastest at the moment in practice. We're just waiting for the qualifying session to start. Not quite sure what the delay is. We're a couple of minutes past half past, so just waiting for Avalon to get the qualification started. Mr. Cool Runnings, sixth fastest at the moment. He's put in a 158.2. No, he's quicker than that. But I don't care how slow it goes in that car. That car is a thing of absolute joy to watch. Old man Jay, he's done, I know he's done a 2 minutes dead. I suspect he could probably go a bit faster. He's running hard time. Now the race, the mandatory tyre today is the hard tyre. You must run the hards today, or you will get a 5-second penalty. So you guys, I hope you've familiarised yourself with the rules. They're written there, so hopefully you all realise that. If you don't, then someone please let them know. Nick John Baker, I thought he was racing, but he looks like he's struggling to get in again. We're going to have to get to the bottom of that issue. Don't know what's going on there. Hopefully we're starting very soon. Let's have a look at it in the pits. There we go. So, race starting. Here we go. So, Simonas on pole. Rollies in second. Stormfly third. Has Kozas fourth. Dennis D fifth. Fizruckus in sixth. Wendigo seventh. Las Vidas eighth. Avalon Shadow ninth. Kevin 10th. The Armin is 11th. Cool Runnings 12th. Old Man J in 13th. What is going on? We appear to have lost everybody. No, we didn't. It's just the screen a bit funny there. And Fizruckus dives through, takes Simonas out, knocks him way down the order. So that wasn't great driving there. Absolutely overshot the corner, taking out his countryman. So Ronnie's in the lead from Stormfly. Paz Kozas, and I'm sorry if I get the names wrong, in a battle at the moment with Simonas and Kevin 77, and coming worse off in 5th place now. Simonas up into 3rd, Kevin up into 3rd. This is a massive battle on the opening lap. These two are absolutely going at it, toe to toe. Stormfly has got Simonas right up behind him. Rolly's not really able to pull away at the moment, or is he? Is the battle behind going to play into his hands? Stormfly in 2nd, Simonas 3rd, Kevin 77 settles into 4th place. Now they start on half a tank of fuel. They've pretty much all started on the soft tyres. Stormfly under some pressure for Simonas. Side by side, they're going up the hill now. But Stormfly manages to retain the place. But down the order, Danas D. Loving that car, actually, really, really good livery on that car. He is 7 tenths behind, 6 tenths behind that battle, but certainly not out of it. Have you seen Fizruckus going up into 6th place? Does he make a stick? He doesn't. He actually does. Fizruckus up into 6th place. Danas D in 7th. Las Vidas following the slipstream with Danas D, battling with Avalon Shadow. Avalon Shadow he's got the inside line. Will he take it? He does take that inside line a little bit wide. He finds himself on the grass. Can he get back onto the track? Mr. Cool Runnings in 9th, Wendigo 10th, Arminus 11th, Avalon Shadow drops down to 12th place after going on the grass. Old Man J in 13th, just behind Avalon Shadow. Massive balls out battle on that one here. Ronnie's in the lead, not able to pull away from this chasing back though. Stormfly in 2nd. He's got Kevin 77, just 1 second, well less than 1 second behind him at the moment. Simonis just a second behind him with Paz Kozas 99. Danis D, Fizruckus just behind Danis D. All these new names, I'm trying to remember them all. It's going to be a bit difficult to do. The race just starts to settle down. The frenetic energy from the first lap just settling down a little bit, but the pace is hot. We are on lap 2 already, and these guys are burning through that fuel. Pit window opens really early here. Pit window opens on lap 4. Will anyone stretch it out another lap? Will anyone jump in early? Is anyone brave enough to come in on lap 3 and look to try an undercut? Does the undercut even work here? Stormfly 2nd, Kevin 77 in 3rd place. Not battling at the moment, but they're starting to pull away. Simonis is trying to hang on to the back of them, but this front pack just pulling away a little bit from the midfield. Simonis and Paz Kozas, 4th and 5th. Going to have a little battle between them by the looks of things, but the cars are just starting to spread out around the racetrack now. There is Danis D in 6th place, 6/10 up from Fizz Rockus. Fizz Rockus in that really nice Corvette. Love that car. Las Vidas. That is one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen. That Nissan Skyline. Not sure it's the best car for this track. Maybe you can get that dialed in, but there are certainly quicker cars out there. But he has Wendigo behind him. Wendigo under some pressure from Cool Runnings. Cool Runnings with the jump on him with the slipstream. Is he close enough to make a move into turn 1? Be a very brave move to make that on the WRX. Great grip on the WRX. Cool Runnings absolutely sends it down the inside. Goes a little bit wide, and Wendigo able to regain that position just by holding the inside curve there. But great move from Cool Runnings. Very fair racing, and certainly had a go. He has another go here up the inside. This time he does make that move stick, and he gets ahead of Wendigo up into 9th place. Wendigo in 10th, following Cool Runnings, trying desperately to regain that position. Arminus GT, he is just behind that battle. Is he going to get dragged in where these two are fighting? Avalon Shadow 1.7 seconds back. Look, made a good move on the last lap. Got caught, went on the grass, and that sent him back to 12th place. Is he able to catch back up to this battle? How you doing, Mr. Dre? Good to see you, buddy. Are you leaving DRE and coming to join us? Be nice if you were another one to come and join us over here. Old Man J at the moment 7 seconds back, not able to get that dialed in. He is, as everyone will know, he's just switched to a wheel with manual gearing, so he's still coming to terms with the control of that car. Kevin 77 has moved up into 2nd place, and he's making a challenge on Rollins. Can he make the move stick? He doesn't this time, but he's up the inside there. Little touch side by side. Kevin goes up into the lead. Simona's in 2nd, Stormfly 3rd. Rollins drops down into 4th place, just trying to defend from that on that battle. He drops in behind Stormfly. Paz Kozas in 5th. Danis D in 6th. So the top 6 now, all vying for the lead position on the track. As we just come to the end of lap 4. So everyone go, oh sorry, the beginning of lap 4, what am I talking about? Just so exciting, I keep losing my place. So here we go, we're on lap 4 now. Danis D in 6th place. That gap back to the midfield is with Fizruckus, the best of the rest at the moment. He is 1.8 seconds behind Danis D. With Las Vidas for company. Oh, little wobble there. Allows Las Vidas through in that skyline. Fizruckus drops down to 8th place. Just little wobble on the back end of that very powerful Corvette. And the Much cleaner exit from Las Vegas. Lets it just drift through into 7th place. Can he now close up on that battle for the top 3, which currently is 6 cars? Arminis in 9th place. He is going to be under some pressure soon from Wendigo, who's closing up the gap on him. Arminis 4 seconds back from that battle at the moment. Wendigo just a second behind him. I apologise for going silent there. My daughter was just leaving the house to go out drinking. Wendigo in 10th. He has got Avalon Shadow breathing down his neck in that Porsche. Look at the fuel on that car. He's going to have to come in. Avalon Shadow, we know that he's very good at fuel saving. He'll take that car a little bit longer. I wouldn't be concerned about him sitting back in 11th, because he's going to be much further up when people start jumping into the pits at the end of this lap. Cool Runnings also. Is he going to drag that car out a little bit longer? He's down in 12th at the moment. 47 seconds ahead of Old Man J. But that's because Old Man J did decide to go in early. Has he done the smart thing and pitted early just to give himself additional options? At the moment, he is an entire pit stop behind Cool Runnings, though. As we start to see everyone jumping into the pits, Fizz Ruckus, Rollies, Paz Kozas, Wendigo, Danis D, all in the pits. Stormfly up into the leads. Kevin 77 also in the pits. So Stormfly in the lead. He's going to go another lap. He's going to go at the end of lap 5. No, you should still come and race, buddy. You know, we're not all quick like these guys out front, Mr. DRE. Yeah, you should come and join us, mate. You have some back marker battles, why not? Las Vidas is promoted in the Skyline to 2nd, so doing a really good job on fueling that. And it's interesting to see that it looks like the window is open on that driver's side. If you look at the graphics, there's clearly some glass there, but when you look at the car from the other side, which we should see now, that window is open, or is it broken? Who knows? Avalon Shadow, as I said, don't be worried about him being back in 11th, because he is now up into the top 3. He is happy just to settle into this race, find his rhythm and save that fuel, because at the end of this race he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. You need to watch this guy. Arminis up into 4th, also doing a good job of saving fuel. That WRX though, very, very cruel on the tyres. Need to be careful. That's the one downfall. It's a very good car, the WRX, but it rips the hell out of the tyres. Mr. Cool Running's also sticking it out to lap 5. So we're essentially, it's a 2-stroke, 3-stop race, this, by any stretch of the imagination. I think 2-stop is probably your quickest. But if you're very racy, you can possibly make a 3-stop work here, especially if you are absolutely hell for leather in your last stint. Stormfly jumps in, Avalon Shadow jumps in, Las Vidas jumps in, Arminis also jumps in, where Cool Running's also coming in now. So does that put Simonis in the lead? Everyone else is in the pits at the moment. Simonis is coming up to the final corner. Anyone's going to get out in front of him, or Simonis going to get the lead of this race? It looks to me like he will. Kevin 77 in 2nd, chasing him down. So Simonis does take the lead. Stormfly comes out of the pits in 2nd. Great pit stop there from Stormfly. Gets 2nd place. Going that extra lap gave him a jump on everybody else. Kevin 77 drops down to 3rd place. Fizz Ruckus 4th. Rollies now in 5th place, with Pascotas just behind him. Well, I say just behind him, he's 4 seconds behind him, as we see a lovely move there actually on Las Vegas. He drops way down the order now into 7th place, but he is crawling all over the back of that McLaren. Does not want to let Pascotas get away from him. Big battle here from these guys, and massive abuse of track limits there, which actually you can get away with on this track. You can get all 4 wheels over that white line and not get a penalty on that particular corner. So Avalon Shadow already moved up from 11th to 8th after the pit stop window. He's 1.9 seconds behind Las Vegas now, with Davis D 9 seconds back from him. Wendigo up into 10th place at the moment, 3.5 seconds up the road. But he's under some pressure from Arminis. Arminis only half a second behind, sitting in the slipstream. Is there an opportunity coming out of the last corner? Is he going to be close enough? Can he maintain that pace with him? Mr. Cool Running's also sticking with him. Old Man Jay, 32 seconds behind, so the gap has closed down. But if he can go really long here, this could actually play into his favour. So what we haven't done yet, we haven't managed to do an on-board lap around this track. So let's go on board. We haven't seen him for a while, so let's go on board with Kevin 77. So you round that last corner, and you need to get on that power as quickly as possible. You head down the hill under the driving pleasure bridge, crossing the line. You're keeping the car to the left-hand side here, and you're looking for your brake point, which is about here. You leave it late, you turn in, you want to clip the apex, you're in first gear here, or maybe second, depends on the car. Dab on the accelerator, then you're literally just dabbing those brakes, feathering the throttle to get it round that really, really long. I mean, it's 3 corners essentially, but they make one big sweeping left-hander. You then just let off the power here, then you're on the power, fully on the power, going straight over those lines for that right-hander. You want to let the car drift, and when you see those cones bang, you're going to slam on the brakes, get it turned in, drop it down a gear, ready to drop down another gear here for this big right-hand turn. Then you are back on the power up the hill, and you drift round to this left-hand side, you're hugging that grass as closely as you can, braking nice and early, getting turned in, because you want to get on the power here as quickly as possible, and he does do a really good job there. You've got to use all of the track, gets on that power. You can, and with a little lift, straight round this corner, no braking, just lift it to get that car turned in, and then you're up the hill under this big metal gantry. Brake down into third gear. 2 different lines are actually from Stormfly and Kevin. I usually take Stormfly's line, but Kevin takes a really, really fine left-hand line. Stormfly off the track, and that allows Kevin through, but Stormfly catches him as he's wobbling back on the track. What a horrible racing incident to happen. That's dropped Kevin way down the order, down into 4th place. Absolutely unavoidable accident. Just the car wobbling so much under Stormfly. Nothing you could do about that. But then you go up the hill into the Schumacher S. Then it's on the power, and you finish off on the final turn. Absolutely devastating for Kevin there, doing a really good run there in second. Unavoidable though. Stormfly had a little wobble, gets on the grass, and just lost a little bit of control of the car as he comes on the track, and it just clips Kevin enough to unsettle the car and push it to the wall, but he does manage to keep it on the road. So Simonas now 6.4 seconds clear at the head of the pack, able to pull away because of the battle behind. Where Stormfly and Kevin have the coming together, it's given Simonas a good little run out in front. He's currently half a tank of fuel. He's on those racing mediums. Expect to see him coming into the pits somewhere around the end of lap 12, maybe lap 13 for his next stop. With 15 minutes, we're exactly 1/4 into this race, and we have already had some phenomenal racing action. Stormfly there in second, Fizzlocus into 3rd place, but with a 1 second penalty. And with where the penalty line is, this could bring Kevin 77 right back into those top 3. Yeah, it was a big hit, wasn't it, Mr. Dre? Is it Mr. Dre or Mr. DRE? You'll have to confirm that. Ronnie's up into 5th in that beautiful McLaren. He, at the moment, he's 5 seconds off the top 4. So that top 6 that were vying for the top 3 spots, now starting to spread out around the racetrack as everyone settles into their rhythm. Be interesting to see how the different strategies start to play out. We've got some running the mediums, some running the hards. Remember, the hard is the mandatory tyre. At some point, everybody has to run that tyre. Paz Cosas in 7th, but is he going to be there for long? Because Las Vidas in that skyline, absolutely crawling all over the back of him, and Avalon Shadow now up into 8th place, crawling all over the back of them. So there is some real battle going on here for 6th place, and Paz Cosas at the moment doing a really good defensive job, but can he hold them off for any length of time? This kind of pressure often leads to mistakes. We see Las Vidas dives up the inside. What a move. Avalon Shadow follows him through. Does Pascoe lose 2 places? He does. He loses 2 places. Avalon Shadow follows Las Vidas through into 7th place. Las Vidas up into 6th. Brilliant double overtake there. And unfortunately, Pascozas loses 2 places on that turn. Does he get the place back here? Does he get better traction out turn 1? But just not quite enough. Really high up the inside here. Is he going to have the traction coming out of the corner? Settles in behind Avalon Shadow. Avalon Shadow now having to do a defensive job. As we see Las Vidas just starting to edge away from that battle now. Further down the order, Danas D in 9th place. He's 2.8 seconds back from this battle, but no pressure from behind at the moment from Cool Runnings. Cool Runnings in 10th, 7 seconds back. Wendigo is he's trying to challenge Cool Runnings, but he's got Arminis right up behind him. Arminis really putting some pressure on Wendigo. So Wendigo's got to focus more on defending at the moment than he is about attacking Cool Runnings in front. And this just allows Cool Runnings to race his race. He doesn't have to worry about defending his lines because Wendigo's doing that for him. So good battle going on there. Look to see how that plays out. Old Man Jay still plodding around doing a stellar job. And let's face it, I would be, if I was racing, I'd be further behind him. So he's probably disappointed I'm not on the track today because at least if one person he can be. But he's, everyone's learning. But he will be getting lapped very soon as you see Simona's coming through the sector just behind him. Simona's opened up that lead to 7.5 seconds from Stormfly VR46, the current championship leader, Stormfly. Fastest lap at the moment, 1:55.0 from Simona's. That is worth a bonus point. And just to sort of run down how the scoring works in this tournament. The scoring is based on the person in last receiving 1 point. And everybody ahead of that receives 1 additional point for whatever position they're in. So, the more people in the lobby, the more points you get for first. It's as simple as that. But everybody is separated by 1 point with an additional point for... excuse me, additional point for the fastest lap. And that's that. And this is a very, very hotly contested tournament. We're on round 4. So, everybody racing today. A lot of work to do, but you do drop your 2 worst results. However, we cannot necessarily count results where you weren't in the tournament at all. So we do have to look at that aspect of it. But you drop your 2 worst results for the season from when you entered the competition. Kevin77 selling into a good little race pace there in 3rd place. Remember, this is his first race back into lobby racing. He's been away for a while, but still doing an absolutely fabulous job in 3rd place. Had the coming together, he was in 2nd, had the coming together with Stormfly. Stormfly just couldn't control the car coming back onto the track. The car was just wobbling all over the place underneath him, and he caught Kevin and put him into a wall. Brilliant shot there, as you see those brakes lighting up on the front of that Corvette. Fizz at the moment comfortable in 4th, not really closing too significantly on Kevin, but he's going to have to pit very soon. Absolutely burning through his fuel and tyres. So he has made a massive jump through the order, but he's lost a lot of fuel in doing so. And then we've got Roddy 3.6 seconds back. He's got the mandatory hards out of the way early doors. A few people have chosen to do that. Others have gone for the mediums. And are leaving the hards until later on in the race. Las Vidas in 6th, still holding off the charge of Avalon Shadow, but they've now both opened up a gap from Paz Cosas after they overtook him at the beginning of the last lap, which was a great overtake coming into in start lap, what was lap 10? So lap 12 is going to be the start of the next pit window for those that didn't fuel for the whole race or to maximum. So we're looking at people like Simonis is probably I expect to see him coming in lap 13, lap 14 possibly. Stormfly a bit later, lap 15, lap 16, which will probably be around the midway point. Same again for Kevin. Actually, Kevin can hang it out quite much longer. Currently running the mediums, and I think the tyres are actually going to give out on him before the fuel does. Fizz Kozas. Is that right? Fizz Rockas. Sorry. Struggling to keep up with it all. Fizz Rockas. He will come in at the end of this lap. He's currently in third. Kevin 77 had a massive off. I wondered what happened. He's off the track. He's down into eighth place. So a big spin, 9th place. Big spin from Kevin in his first race back, and he's dropped him way down the order into 9th. It just goes to show that a lack of practice does really affect the quality of the driving. As I said, GT7 is a new game for him. We know he's got races on iRacing and Assetto Corsa and GT Sport. He's a quick guy. So he is jumping into the pits, not happy with those medium tyres, changing his strategy. So him and Fizz Rocker's jumping into the pits. Cool Runnings, he will stay up for some time. Again, though, it's the worry, those medium tyres. Are they going to hold out? It is a really good race, isn't it? Remantis, is that how you say it? Remantis? No, it is a really good race, but it's a close one, I think, actually. There's quite a few battles going on all over the racetrack at the moment. Hotly contested is the expression I think they use. So, Cool Runnings, 13 seconds back from Dana's D in the beautiful Megan Fox inspired 911. Beautiful lady on the car. Arminis just behind him. Is Arminis in a position to put a challenge on? Cool Runnings on old mediums. Arminis on similar age hards, but obviously not with they haven't got the wear out of them. Has he got the grip though? Have they got the grip that will allow him to get past Cool Runnings? At the moment it doesn't look like he can, but doing a great job in that WRX. We know that WRX is horrible on tyres. So Fizz Rockas, he's picked up the dreaded 3-second pit lane penalty. Oh, that is the bane of existence. But it's a great leveller. It's a great leveller, that pit lane. You've got to keep your wits about you, both coming in and coming back out, because it's so harsh. A couple of wheels over and you are subject to a 3-second penalty, and you'll see just how much time you can lose. Now, Wendingo is 2.2 seconds behind him. Let's just see how much time you lose, because you lose a lot more than 3 seconds where you slow down. So there we go, so slowing down now. We'll see Wendingo come through. So much faster than him there. And if we go into the next turn and see where he is, he's a second ahead. So 2.5 behind, he's now a second ahead. Well, he's actually almost 1.5 seconds ahead and still pulling away. So it's cost a 3-second penalty there. It's cost nearer 5 seconds. Yeah, not far off 5 seconds. Ridiculous, really, isn't it? Kevin 77 in 12th place. Big spins, taking him easy. Bit of bad luck and a spin has taken him right out of the action. I'll tell you what he does need to do. He needs to take that Darwin Racing Evolution livery off the back of his car. We're not ones for handing out livery violations, but that's sacrilegious, my friend. We'll let it go this time, but that's got to go. Oh man, Jay, got Ronnie's just past him now. Ronnie's up into third at the moment. So how are we doing out front? What's the state of play out front? Well, Simona's still in the lead, 8.2 seconds. He'll be pitting this lap 13. So I called it. I said lap 13, didn't I? See, I do know what I'm talking about, even when I don't keep notes. So there we go. Simona's pulling in now into the pits. That will promote Stormfly up into first place. Stormfly staying out. But those tyres are looking very angry. He is in that Porsche 911. And round he comes to start lap 14. Can he hang this car out to the halfway point? This is a 60-minute endurance race. That's right, you heard it here first. 60-minute endurance race. Stormfly, the current championship leader, regains the lead of this race in first place from Simonas, currently in the pits. How much fuel is he going to put on board? Rollins is close enough. Rollins is coming through. Now, he's got a few more laps to go. He's running the mandatory hard tyres. He goes up into second. As we see Las Vidas, we see Paz Cosas and Davis D. Paz Cosas and Davis D, that's it, yeah. All coming through. Simonis in 6th place. Just comes out of pits, doesn't cross that line, which is really, really good. So it's Dre, yeah? As in, like, forgot about Dre. Cool. Avalon Shadow drops down to 7th place. But I mean, he can hang this car out. He's still got another 3 or 4 laps in that car. So he won't be pitting until somewhere around lap 18, which will put him firmly into the second half of this race. Certainly to stop territory. Arminis in 8th place with, that's Mr. Cool Runnings. 1.2 seconds behind him, looking to put a bit of a charge on. Cool Runnings probably got another couple of laps before he's going in. I think lap 16, we'll expect to see Adrian jumping into those pits. Vizrakas down into 10th place on the racing mediums with about half a tank of fuel, so only about 4 or 5 laps they're running with half. It was certainly on the early pace. Now bear in mind, I mean, the early pace of this race was frenetic. They absolutely went out of it like greyhounds out of a trap. But it's starting to just settle down now into the midpoint of the race. We're about we're a couple of minutes off half distance. As Stormfly pulls into the pits, there he goes from the lead. Rollis goes through, takes the lead. He's got another couple of laps left in him. I think Stormfly went in early purely because the tyres were given out. Las Vidas in that skyline up into second. Where's Stormfly going to come out? He's just lifting the car up on the jack now. So we've got Paz Cosas, Danis D all going through. I said that this would it would shuffle and shuffle and shuffle as people were running different strategies, and we're starting to see that already. Very similar to the race yesterday and the GRB race on Wednesday. 2 races which if you subscribe to our YouTube, you have to see these races. They're absolutely phenomenal. The team versus team last night was a really, really good watch. But the GRB from Wednesday was a great race, and genuinely you couldn't pick a winner until the last lap, and in fact 2 positions were decided on the last corner on the last lap. Absolutely fabulous race. So Simonis down into 5th place. Avalon Shadow 7 seconds behind. A couple of laps before he will be going into the pits. There's Arminis in 7th. 3.9 seconds ahead of Stormfly. So Stormfly, a bit of work to do to close up that gap. Mr. Cool Runnings drops down the order a little bit as Fizruckus, sorry. I was looking at 2 places at once. Fizruckus up into 9th. Trying to chase down Stormfly, but Stormfly at the moment one of the quickest guys out there, putting in some great pace. Kevin 77, not a great race from him so far, but he's now on those mandatory hards, and we know this guy's got it in the locker. He may have had 1 or 2 little issues, but we know he's got pace to burn, and it won't take long for him to be getting up to speed, I can assure you of that. Windingo down in 12th place in that WRX. The couple of WRX runners here really struggling on this track to get that car dialed in. Windingo and Old Man J. Old Man J lap behind pretty much everyone at the moment. Can't get that car dialed in at all. So we see Ron is now going to the pits in that McLaren. That promotes Las Vidas in the Skyline. For me, the best looking car on the track. So the Skyline is out front. 1.4 seconds clear of Paz Cosas 99 in second in the McLaren. He will need to pit soon, as will Las Vidas. Las Vidas probably going to go lap 18. Paz Cosas lap 17, I estimate. Danis D also lap 17. He's in the he's in the Lexus. What am I talking about? Absolute rubbish. He's in the Lexus. The Lexus really good on fuel actually, and not too bad on tyres. They have run the mandatory hards. They will probably keep those tyres. I mean, personally, I'll keep the tyres on the same few seconds of the pit, but it depends on the pace again, which very consistent pace actually. If you look, very consistent. Look at that, 58.9, 58.9, 58.9, 58.9. You can't get much better than that in terms of consistency. Little bit less so from Pescosas. Las Vidas again, 58.7. All very similar in pace, these guys. It's going to make for some great last ditch racing. Avalon Shadow again up to be fair, Phil. Avalon Shadow's up to fifth. Sorry. To be fair, Phil. I'm not. Well, I'm not one for. Oh, you've got a livery violation. Once you've gone out and you haven't got the right livery on, we'll tell you haven't got it, then you sort it. But he's got DRE on his car, man. That's sacrilegious. That's like walking into a mosque eating a bacon sandwich. But there we go. So smack on the wrist for that. But yes, so where are we? Avalon Shadow in fifth, Harmonist in 6th place, Stormfly down in 7th at the moment. But as the pit stops start to organise themselves and the strategies start to play out, we'll see where everyone falls within the race. Stormfly's pace very similar to those in and around him, so I wouldn't expect to see him that far down the order for too long as the guys in front go into the pits. Bear in mind that he has pits already, and he is at the moment not too far behind Simonas. Simonas 8 seconds up. He's running the mandatory hards. Avalon Shadow will drop into the pits in lap 17, or unless he chooses to hang out. I don't think he'll choose to hang out another lap, just where it's affected his pace. And again, very similar pace, mid to low 58s. So everyone out there really lapping at a very similar rate. Arminis himself, 59, low to mid 59s. He will be probably on track for another 3 laps before he has to pit. We're past the halfway point now. 33 minutes gone, 27 left. We've done 17 laps. We've got another 16 glorious, 15 or 16 glorious laps to go. As you see, Arminis there in 4th place. Stormfly currently in 5th, just 1.5 seconds back. Fizruckus, 6th place. Just started to see some signs of wear now on those racing mediums, but he should be able to get into the pits without too much, without too many issues of tyres when he goes into fuel. Ronnie's did take the lead through the Arsenal pit window. Back out in 7th place. We say Las Vidas just dropping into the pits. Simonas regains the lead. So Ronnie's down into 7th, 6.5 seconds behind Fizruckus. 3.2 ahead of Kevin, who is now back up into 8th place after some really unfortunate incidents. So Simona's there in the lead. Las Vidas in the pits. Arminis, he just coming through. Simona 17 seconds. So after that little pit window, he's gained an enormous amount of time. He's now 17.8 seconds clear. His fastest lap of 1:5.50. Absolutely phenomenal lap. But he's put on the hards now, and he has kind of settled into a sort of 57, low 57, low 58 rhythm. Armin's going out for one more lap, but he's not going. He's going to be able to hold on to 2nd place. He's got Stormfly on the hard tyres, but on an absolute charge in behind him. Armin is quite welcome to defend his position, but he's going to be saving fuel. How long can he keep Stormfly behind? This is really harming Stormfly's race, because Stormfly needs to get off out from behind him and up the road after Simonas, try and close down that big gap that he's managed to put out. Stormfly up the inside, gets his shoulders out, says if you want to come around this corner, you're going to have to yield. And Arminis does that. Great racing from them, very close, but great racing. Stormfly up into 2nd. The gap up ahead is now 19 seconds. A lot of work to do there. Las Vidas back out into 4th, getting a very, very racy in that Skyline. Was quite far down the order initially, but has worked his way up some really good pace. Finds himself now up into 4th place. Ron is in 5th. He is just under 2 seconds behind Les Vidas, closing as well by the looks of things. So showing some very, again, very solid in terms of race timings. 58.6, 58.8, 58.6. Very consistent. Kevin 77 up into 6th place now. As Arminis goes into the pits, I think these guys will all be promoted to place while he's in there. We see Las Vidas go through. We see Ronnie's go through. We're about to see Kevin go through. We'll see Paz Kozas go through. So Kevin back up into 5th. Despite his early issues, he's made his way back up the order now into 5th place in that C7. Paz Kozas, 58.3 his last lap to Kevin's 58.1. So Kevin just starting to show a little bit of pace, and we know he's got it in the locker. Paz Kozas is 3.7 seconds clear. Danis D. So this is the kind of midfield at the moment. We've got Danis D, Paz Kozas, Danis D, Avalon Shadow 6 seconds behind. Arminis comes out of the pits, 8.5 seconds behind. Avalon Shadow going pretty racy on the mediums, looking to stretch out this this second stint, or sorry, third stint, and certainly stretch it out possibly to the end of the race. I mean, we're looking at how much fuel he's got. I don't know. I don't think he can. I think he's possibly looking at going on softs and going racing at the end. Who knows? With Avalon, we know just how well he can save fuel. And we know that if he wants to, he could hang this out to the end of the race on that amount of fuel. Not sure of the tyres, though. Those mediums will hold out for that distance. Fizz Ruckus drops down to 10th place in the 69 car. 11 seconds clear of Wendigo. Wendigo, 7 seconds up from Mr. Cool Runnings. The WRX runners really not finding the pace that you'd expect. Mr. Cool Runnings struggling in that 911. As beautiful as that car is, struggling to get it dialed in. He is 8 seconds behind Wendigo at the moment. Is he able to close up? Oh, he's running the mandatory hards. Wendigo also on the hards. He's got a bit more fuel, so he may have an opportunity to catch him a bit later on. Old man Jay, there he is. He's about to be lucky, but he has closed up that gap a little bit. Arminis just coming through. Jay just loses his grip going round the bend there. Bit of frustration maybe with not having the pace expected, and those tyres are absolutely shot. So maybe a dip into the pits at the end of this lap and get rid of those very angry tyres. As we said, those the WRX is really not kind to the tyres, and there he loses it again. There's just no grip left in those tyres, and he's got Fizz Rockers, I think that is, just coming through to lap him now, but again struggling to keep a grip with those racing tyres at the moment. But he does eventually move over, and Fizz Rockers goes through. Out front, has that gap changed? Well, a little, but not significantly. Simonas just running the perfect race at the moment. 18.9 seconds clear in that McLaren, doing a very solid job as he just comes around to start lap 21. Stormfly still 19 seconds back. Do they have to stop again? Well, I say they do. It was 10 minutes. It was 10 to 12 minutes for half a tank of fuel at the beginning of the race, and I mean they were on some phenomenal pace there, absolutely out the blocks like rabbits. 8 to 12 minutes, depending on when people went in. So with half a tank there, he's certainly going to have to stop again. I imagine he'll be stopping somewhere around lap 26, and then we'll see him maybe 25, 26, and then I think we'll see him go on to the softs and try and maintain that 19-second gap. Stormfly, not much more fuel, also running the mandatory hards. Again, I think we'll see him go in and get some soft tyres at some stage. Kevin 77 has made his way back up to 3rd place. He's round Las Vidas, he's round Rollies, he's round Paz Cosas, Danis D, Avalon Shadow. He's made his way all the way back through the field, up into the top 3. Of course, he will have to stop again. He's on those mandatory hards, but I think he can put on the softs and take those to the end of the race. We are 2/3 of the way in. We've got just 1/3 left of what's been an absolutely phenomenal race. It's really changed around the midfield. There's been lots of chopping and changing. Very difficult actually to keep up with the changes and the different strategies going on. Lots of different strategies going on at the moment. There we go, Las Vidas in the best looking car on the track, in 4th place. Doesn't need to do something about the livery though. That's the livery of the car that comes with the car is a bit shit, but the car's beautiful. Rolly's there just under a second behind, looking to use the pace of that McLaren to try and challenge that Skyline, but the Skyline very, very solid through the corners. Paz Cosas just dropping off the back of that battle now. Is he dropping into the clutches of Danis D? Danis D is 2.7 seconds behind, but showing quite good pace behind him there in that Lexus, and will go probably a bit longer. Although Paz Cosas is on those medium tyres, we know that the mediums don't last much longer than the softs. They certainly don't. You know, it's debatable whether the grip you lose is worth it for the extra couple of laps. But at the moment, Danis D not under any pressure from Avalon Shadow. But I mean, we were talking about whether he'd make it to the end, right? And he used literally hardly any fuel at all since we talked about it, and yet he's still lapping. In fact, he put in his fastest lap of the race on lap 20 at a 57.6. That's on the medium tyres, while trying to save some fuel, and battling back in 8th place. Arminis GT in 9th place in the WRX. Very hard on the tyres, had to go in, will still have to go again. That is not enough fuel to get him to the end of this race, so he will still have to pit again. That could play into the hands of Fizz Rockus there. He will also have to pit again. He's got those mandatory hard tyres on, but he'll also have to pit again. What about Wendingo? Also Wendingo. Wendingo's struggling as well to close up the gap. He's got to go again as well. So everybody at the moment worrying more about being racy towards the end than sort of being brave and fueling to the end and going quite heavy. Mr. Cool Runnings, could he? No, I don't think he can. He will also be going to the end. Old man Jay, a little bit more fuel. He's on those racing softs again. I think at the moment for Jay, it's just about closing up the gap, which he's doing a good job of, but not lapping anything under 2 minutes at the moment. The rest of the field somewhere around the 1:58 mark. So Jay will have to stop again. Those tyres will not hold out, excuse me, until the end. Simonas, we thought the Stormfly would be going on a charge, but I mean, he's just put in, he's on the hard tyres, and he's put in a 56.6 and a 56.9. They are just 2 phenomenal laps on tyres with pretty shitty grip, let's be fair. The hard tyres really aren't as grippy as you'd like, but to put in those times, he clearly saw that Stormfly was trying to put in a shift and wanted to open up that gap. So the gap actually now is 21.7 seconds back to Stormfly. Stormfly himself, very comfortable at the moment, 16 seconds up the road from Kevin, 77. Great race from him. Did have a coming together with Stormfly racing incident, and then had a bit of a spin himself. That's dropped him down the order. Les Vidas, Rolles, and Pezzacota. Just we see him nudging Rolles off the track there. and gaining a position. Now he needs to give that place back. The nudge in the back there has actually gained him a position. Now he needs to, they need to talk between themselves, because that position needs to be relinquished, and he's got to give it back. If he doesn't, he will have a 5-second penalty applied at the end of the race, or he can serve a drive-through penalty. It's entirely up to him. But it doesn't look like he's going to give the place up. So we may be having our first ever penalty handed at the end of the race. But so we'll see what happens in terms of the race here. For me, if Rollins doesn't make a complaint, then the stewards obviously cannot rule on it. But for me, if he doesn't hit Rollins, he doesn't get that place. So he's now, he's obviously very quick, because he's putting pressure now on Les Vidas. Does make a great overtake there on Les Vidas. That one was clean, very clean. So clearly not going to give the place back to Rollins. We'll wait and see what Rollins decides to do, whether he decides to ask the stewards to look at that particular incident. It's not my place to submit anything to the stewards unless it's incredibly bad sportsmanship, which that wasn't. I mean, he looked like he just outbroke himself and caught him. But, you know, it is what it is. Rollins there. Is he challenging on Les Vidas now? It looks to be that he has the pace in that McLaren. That McLaren looking very, very strong around here. Flashing his lights. Get out of the way, man. But you've got to pass him, and you've got to pass him fair, because that is dropping you now into the clutches of Danius D. Danius D is only 8/10 behind you in that Lexus, and starting to put on the pace now and on the hard tyres as well, surprisingly. Avalon Shadow down in 8th place. He was saving fuel. He's not anymore. He is going hell for leather. Another fastest lap, or personal best anyway. 1:57.4. Currently running 8th. Had a little wobble early on, going into, I think it was the Centre S, where he went across the grass and he dropped down the order a little bit. He is making his way back up the order, but not at the rate I think he'd like to. We'll certainly see how racy he is towards the end here, as he just goes round to complete lap 24. Arminis GT, 17 seconds back, struggling to catch up with Avalon Shadow, and will be pitting again very, very soon. We're going into... Now that's... TJ, you're absolutely right. That Skyline is phenomenal on fuel. I ran some laps in practice earlier. I ran the Merc from the TVT, which is a beautiful car to drive, but 1.5 seconds slower than my Beetle. Ran the Beetle, which wasn't great, and then I did I think I did 4 or 5 laps in the Skyline, and I couldn't get it within the sort of representative times of the Beetle, but I still had loads of fuel left, and I wasn't saving either, so I probably could have easily have taken it to lap 6 with a little bit of lift and coast. But there we go. Arminis in 9th place. He's going to have to pit soon. Fizruckus also going to have to pit soon. So this will be our final lap. We are... there we go. So we're actually 10 minutes shorter than the race should have been. We were expecting a 60-minute race. Little cock up there with the lobby. We ended up 50 minutes. So that kind of ruined things for me. I don't know if anyone's strategy was planning for that, but there we go. So Stormfly comes home in 2nd. And I apologise for any mistake in the commentary, because I was expecting the race to be 10 minutes longer. Kevin77 comes home in 3rd. So actually the strategies did line up. People weren't racing towards the end. There we go then. Well, what can we do? We can only work with the information that we have available to us, and yeah, there we go. I'm very disappointed with the race being 10 minutes shorter than I expected, but it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. So there we go. There's your final lineup. Bit of an anti-climax, because I wasn't expecting people to be crossing the line for another 10 minutes. Simonis in 1st, Stormfly 2nd, Kevin77 with a great 3rd finish after a couple of issues. Les Vidas in 4th. Paz Kozas in 5th, Dennis D 6th, Rollis 7th, Avalon Shadow 8th, Fizz Ruckus will come home 10th, Arminis in 9th, Mr. Cool Runnings 11th, or 12th, Windingo getting through. Does Windingo make it through? No, Mr. Cool Runnings is through. They're still battling, they're still racing. Or at least somebody's still racing. I thought everybody would be, but these two definitely are. So Cool Runnings looks like he's going to hold on for 11th place. Brilliant run from him in 11th, and Old Man Jay brings up the rear in last place. So there we go. That was 10 minutes shorter than we expected it to be. We thought it was going to be a 60-minute race, but well, there you go. It is what it is. So we have a new winner, Simonas. We have Kevin77 back on our podiums again. What can you say? Stormfly still able to extend his lead at the top, though, with a really good second place. So there we go. That is that. I have been Urban Pirate. This has been Black Flag E-Racing TV, and another phenomenal race in the Black Flag Bullshit Tournament, which moves us on back to the GR4s and to round 5, which is the halfway point. So that was it. So thanks to all the new Lithuanian guys that have joined us. If you could please make sure in your next race you've got the correct livery on the car, particularly the sponsor livery. Kevin, please take off the Darwin Racing Evolution stuff from your car. That's it, really. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you very soon for another race.